All right, I'm glad you guys could come and listen to this amazing new product. I'm going to introduce Mr. Stephen Adele. He is the owner and founder of iSatori, a local sports nutrition company. He's the author of 9 books on supplements and training, including an Amazon.com bestseller, The Sports Supplement Buyer's Guide. He is exclusive to this event. Stephen is going to introduce an exciting and new muscle building product. Please welcome Stephen Adele.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Welcome. This day marks a very exciting and significant day for myself and iSatori and everyone in our company, and that's because we get the unique opportunity today to unveil something that we've been working on for a very long time. We've affectionately called it the Game Changer, and for good reason. And now, I will say that recently there's been a lot of rhetoric in the industry about some products that have been launched called Game Changers. And honestly, the way I see it, you can't say those words unless you're truly going to deliver on the product being a defining game changer to the industry. And I think today, what I'm about to share with you, first is a product unlike anything you've ever seen before. There is nothing else like it. It's never existed before. And it is based on an entirely new product category that no one has ever seen before because we're creating it. And the product itself, and I'll let you be the final judge, will be defined as a true game changer to our industry in muscle building supplement technology. So, if we can, let's get started. And this, for me, is where it all started. I can vividly remember the day I was 12 years old, and I was summer vacation, and I was at my aunt's house, and I got in a fight with one of my cousins. We were the same age, and he beat the living snot out of me. So, you know, bloody lip, bloody nose, everything. My aunt came in and separated us, put me in one room, him in another. And this room that I was in had a bunch of comic books in it. And I wasn't really a comic book reader growing up, but I decided to grab one and flip through it. And at the back of the comic book, I don't know if you remember this ad in the back of comic books, but this ad caught my attention. And I went home and asked my mom if I could get some money to order this little book, and mailed away for it. And along came this book, and it basically showed me how to weight train. Charles Atlas. And it was about how to lift weights, get bigger biceps, chest, get more respect, all the things that come along with muscle. And so I talked my mom into buying me a DP weight set from a neighbor. I don't know if any of you remember those. Cement weight, covered with plastic, made with press board, real high quality stuff. And started lifting weights, and that is when I fell in love with building muscle and bodybuilding. And over the years, I have come to love everything about this sport. And so I've also come to know that everybody loves muscle. Everybody, for whatever reason. We have some fascination with muscle, whether we want to look at it, touch it, admire it, develop it ourselves. But everybody loves muscle. Unfortunately, for most of us, this is what building muscle is like. We tend to have a different picture of ourselves than we really portray in terms of how we look. But all joking aside, what we're here to talk about today is a brand new supplement technology that's going to help us develop new muscle faster. So, we do know, if we take a look at muscle, I'm going to start very broad and I'm going to narrow down. When we look at muscle, we know that muscle growth is triggered by 3 stimuli specifically. First is weight training. We all know that, right? Train with weights at least 3 days a week, some of us 4, 5, 6, 7. And we know progressively using heavier weights is going to help trigger what actually becomes the call for building muscle. We also know that eating food, especially lots of protein, is going to trigger muscle growth. The rule of thumb for protein consumption has always been about 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's usually the rule of thumb, and those of you who've ever dieted for a contest know that it's usually a little bit more than that, sometimes 2 or 3 grams, which can be trouble, it can be hard. Now, the actual rebuilding a muscle, the third stimuli, is protein synthesis. Okay? This is the actual state of rebuilding inside the muscle nuclei, where it's actually rebuilding the muscle so that it's stronger, bigger, or faster. Okay, so we know weight training, food, especially protein, and the act of protein synthesis is what develops new muscle. Okay? So if we dive down a little deeper, we're going to take a look at protein. Okay? Protein consumption. We know protein consumption is necessary, but it has some inherent problems. One, it can be inconvenient when you're trying to eat an awful lot of it. It can also be very uncomfortable, not only for yourself, but those around you sometimes. And it can get expensive. Sometimes it can get expensive when you're trying to eat a lot of protein. So, for 1 second here, I want you to kind of stop and imagine that since we know protein and training and protein synthesis is actually what develops muscle, imagine for a minute if you could consume more protein. So let's say you're the average 200-pound guy and you were consuming 200 grams of protein per day, and you wanted to consume 400 or 600, let's say 800 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein every day. Do you think you would grow or develop more muscle as long as you were training hard? You would. But there's an inherent problem with why you can't. So let me explain a little bit more about that. First of all, protein in a higher rate of consumption. So if you were to try to consume 800 grams of protein a day, your body could not tolerate it. So we know for a fact that your body can use about 10 grams of protein an hour. Okay? We know that. It's based on fact and science. About 10 grams. That's for the highest grade quality protein there is. Whey protein isolate. As you get down into Whole Foods, it's even lower than that. So let's say you're eating 30 grams of protein in a meal every 3 hours. That's about right. Assimilating, using about 10 grams per hour over those 3 hours, and then you're ready to feed again and eat. But what if you're trying to consume more protein? Let's say you're taking 60 grams of protein. What do you think is happening to that other 30 grams of protein? It's either turning to glucose, it's either turning to fat, or it's either going out as waste. There's no two ways around it. Your body has limited capacity to use protein. We're going to come back to that because it's very important. Second thing is, do you think you'd have enough time to eat 800 grams of protein a day? I mean, if you were trying to, let's say you divided it into 8 meals, 100 grams of protein per meal, could you shop, cook, prepare, eat that much protein every day? That would be very difficult to do. The last is, could you afford it? The average cost of a serving of protein powder on the market is about 79 cents for about a 20 gram serving of protein. If you tried to consume 800 grams of protein, that would be $25 a day. A day. Just in protein consumption. So, very unlikely that you would want to afford that even if you could. Okay? So, now again, I asked what if, and this is where all good inventions, in my mind, evolve. You ask the question, what if? And this goes back to a day that I can explicitly remember sitting in a coffee shop with a couple of PhDs. I'm not a PhD, but some really smart guys when we were working on this product concept. And I was asking them, could you do this? Could you make this? And one of them said, we can. And I looked at him and I said, if you do, it will change the game forever in our industry. And that was a long time ago and a lot of hard work since then. So the question is, what if you could feed your body more of the bioactive equivalents? Bioactive equivalents is an important word we're going to get back to. More protein without the inconvenience and your body's ability and discomfort and without the high cost. Would you do it? So enter the game changer. This is the product we've been working on. And I'm first going to reverse this and tell you the category that we've created that this product is built on. And that category is called Bioactive Peptides. Remember that word, because you heard it here first, and I promise you that this will not be the last that you've heard of bioactive peptides. This is going to create an entirely new category. Now, bioactive peptides are not anything new. They've been around for a while. They were actually first developed back in the 1870s by a Polish researcher. Big Pharma has been using them for quite some time. Bioactive peptides are actually what created insulin. Bioactive peptides are actually what created growth hormone. But they've never been introduced to the dietary supplement world. We are the very first company to partner with a manufacturer to develop the expertise to develop and create bioactive peptides for dietary supplement use. And I promise you, these will change the game. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about what bioactive peptides are, but first I'm going to show you the product that we're unveiling today, which contain the first ever bioactive peptides. And that product is called Bio-Gro. And right here is a much sought after little container of Bio-Gro. This tiny little container right here is what is going to change the game in our industry. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what's in Bio-Gro, how it works, the science, and why you would want to use it. So first, let's take a look at what Bio-Gro is, okay? First of all, it signals and accelerates protein synthesis. Okay, you've probably heard this before, but I'm going to show you why this is different and why your body has a limit to how much protein it can synthesize and why this is so important. So first of all, Bio-Gro signals and accelerates protein synthesis, okay? It does that greater than your body can on its own. Okay, the importance of bioactive peptides are that they create a supra-physiological effect, meaning more than your body can do on its own. It has a limit. Bioactive peptides enhance that limit, basically unlock it, okay? Without needing to consume more protein, so I'm not asking you to change your diet, and also at nearly half the cost of protein powders. This is big. You'll see this in a minute about the equivalence of this in terms of protein and its effect on the body to help you grow muscle faster. That is what this product does. Now, if we look at how to use it, it's really simple. One tiny little scoop, it's a 1.5 gram scoop, tiny little scoop, and you use that twice a day. Anytime during the day, as long as it's at least twice a day. If you're under 200 pounds of body weight, if you're over 200 pounds of body weight, it's 2 scoops twice a day. Very simple to use. And magic words for all of us, the more you use, the harder you train. Anecdotally, what we're seeing so far is the better it works. And we're actually going to try to prove that with some science. We have some studies underway right now. But right now, what we've seen is the more you use, the harder you train, the better it works. So, let's look at what's inside Bio-Gro. This is the nutrition fact panel. Something where we disclose exactly what's inside this product. Okay? So, there's a bunch of big words in here. Custom engineered Bio-Pro, that's the trademark of our bioactive peptides. We're the only one who have that, and they have developed the expertise to produce that. Custom engineered Bio-Pro bioactive peptides extracted from micro-concentrated colostrum. Okay? Now, you might already be saying to yourself, well, is it just colostrum? Maybe you've heard of colostrum. No, it's not just colostrum. Saying that Bio-Gro is like colostrum is like saying crude oil is the same as gasoline. One comes from the other, but they are not the same, and they do not act the same. You can't put crude oil in your car. So, these bioactive peptides that come from colostrum are completely different than just colostrum. But first, we actually start with colostrum. For those, if you're familiar with colostrum, it actually is not part of the milking process. It's not part of milk that you get whey and curds and casein. It's a different process. It actually is extracted from the cow within the first 12 hours after giving birth. It's already naturally high in some of these bioactives. Then it goes through a process where it's called centrifugation. It's a low speed, low temperature spin that filters it out. It is cleaved. Cleaved is basically like, think of a laser, you just chop off the good stuff of exactly what you want out of the protein. So there's no fat, there's no sugar, there's nothing else in there except exactly what we want. Then it's micro-concentrated, and it yields exact or precise ratios of these bioactive peptides, which are the proline-rich peptides, growth factors, immunoglobulins, the lactoferrin, and the fibroblasts. Now these are all very important as far as how this product works. But what's more important is that they are in these exact ratios that we need. So, how does it work? Well, I think the best way to explain how it works is let's take a look at the muscle cell, okay? It's a very rudimentary way of looking at exactly how Bio-Gro works. First you have the muscle cell, okay? It's basically sitting there. And it doesn't do anything, and it's not going to trigger any response until it has a stimuli. So the first stimuli that it gets is resistance training. As soon as you start your first rep, that muscle cell is already damaged and it's calling for help. It's calling for the active protein synthesis. Okay? So this is what it does under normal circumstance. Once it's been trained, it has like a beacon. It sends out a signal and it says, I need help. I need amino acids. I need the amino acids from protein so that I can undergo protein synthesis on the inside of the muscle nuclei. So I can rebuild this muscle cell to be bigger or stronger. Okay? Now, this is where your body has a limit. It can only synthesize so much protein. So let's go back to the 10 grams of protein per hour. That's it. That's the limit. Okay? It has no more capacity to do any more than that. So this is where we enter Bio-Gro. Okay? And one of the things that we have kind of labeled this product has been, it's like fertilizer for your muscles. And the reason we say that is that much like fertilizer you put on your grass, it needs sun and water to grow. But muscle with Bio-Gro needs training and protein to accelerate the growth. Okay? So when you look at the muscle cell, and it's undergoing training and it's calling for, it can only call so much. Okay? So now you enter Bio-Gro. In the body consumed, runs through the gut intact. Now, that signal is amplified. It's amplified so much more in that it can call for more protein, more amino acids. It can also accelerate the rate of protein synthesis. So virtually, with Bio-Gro, anything that directly affects protein synthesis, protein, aminos, whether they're branched chain or essential, higher amounts of leucine, anabolic steroids for that matter, anything that directly affects protein synthesis, Bio-Gro will make it work better. It will make more use of what's in your body to therefore accelerate protein synthesis and to help you develop and grow muscle faster. So, under normal circumstances and with Bio-Gro, it's a really simple concept, but it's pretty profound in how it works in the body. So, this is where we always go, and one of our core values is science. I can stand up here and talk all I want, and you can either try the product and see if it works for yourself, you can look at the literature and see what does it say, but this is where everything starts for us, with the science. It's not just to stand up here and give you a marketing gimmick pitch, it's to say, we believe in something that's based on sound scientific evidence. So right now there are 32 published clinical studies on the raw material that is behind the development of Bio-Gro. Okay? There were 4 specific studies that I want to show you, just a single abstract of the results of the material that's in Bio-Gro. First, and this one is important because it's talking about bone-free mass. That's basically lean body mass. That's the muscle in your body. Okay? Now, when you look at the subject group here, you see a 2.4% increase in bone-free mass over 8 weeks. Basically what this means up here, male, female participants, number of participants were 22, 8 weeks, double-blind placebo-controlled. Okay? 2.4% over placebo, which was maltodextrin, okay? Increase in lean body mass. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that's not very much, but if you put that in perspective, if you're a 200-pound guy, that's about 5 pounds of lean body mass in 8 weeks. That's very respectable. And the first thing that I'm going to tell you right now is I'm not going to stand here and say, hey, take Bio-Gro tonight, tomorrow you turn into the Incredible Hulk. Now, lots of other companies do that. We don't do that. That's not the pitch that we're making for this product. That's a gimmick. We're here to say, this is a good solid product that has good solid science, and 5 pounds is pretty respectable over 8 weeks. The second study, Brinkworth here, 34 participants, 8 weeks, double-blind, placebo-controlled, and randomized. It's the gold standard of clinical studies. This was looking at maximal voluntary contraction, which is 1 rep max. This was also looking at a cross-sectional area of the muscle to see how much the muscle volume had expanded. So over 8 weeks, we saw a 4.2% increase in cross-sectional area in the muscle, and the 1 rep max increase on the bicep curl. The reason they use a bicep curl is they can actually control and stabilize and lock their arm down, as opposed to anything else that's multi-joint or multi-muscle. So an increase in 1 rep max and an increase of 4.2% in the volume and the muscle size. That, again, that's pretty respectable after 8 weeks of use. Okay? The third study. This one was interesting because this is tile track performance. This was done in Australia. This was Velodrome, the riding the bikes, 2-minute time trials. And what they actually showed was that they improved their time. Okay? So they improved 3 times faster in their time than the placebo group. Okay? They also increased their VO2 max, but what they did was they actually expressed their muscles' workload, which is essentially the rate of recovery of the muscle cell, which means because it's undergoing protein synthesis faster, you're able to get more work out of the muscle. Okay? So they increased their performance time, which again shows the body's ability to recover faster, specifically the muscle. The fourth and final study, and this one is the kicker for me. Right here you've got a subject group that is going directly against whey protein concentrate. Okay? So again, you've got male and female participants, 49, 8 weeks, double-blind, placebo-controlled, and randomized. Right? You've got a subject group that basically gained 2.6 kilograms of body weight. This is lean body mass, fat-free mass, exclude fat. Fat-free mass over 8 weeks, and it was exactly 2 times more than whey protein concentrate group. 2 times more. That's pretty significant. Now, if you look at, when you think of, well, 2.6 kilograms, you know, that's almost 6 pounds of body weight over 8 weeks. But I think the important thing to note here, it's twice as much as using just regular whey protein concentrate. I mean, this tells you right here the power versus any other type of protein like whey protein concentrate. So why use it? There's 5 things here I want to talk about. First of all, it's more concentrated. Okay? On your left here, you have a scoop of Bio-Gro. It's a 1.5 gram scoop. On the right, you have a scoop of whey protein concentrate. That's 25 grams. Bio-Gro is and contains the equivalent bioactives of 25 grams of whey protein concentrate. Okay? So, from a convenience standpoint as well, being more concentrated has its benefits. It's also convenient in terms of how you can use it. Okay? Bio-Gro is unflavored, it's virtually tasteless, okay? It's virtually odorless, and can be mixed with almost anything. Okay? I say almost because the only thing that it doesn't mix well with is plain water. Okay? It's very hydrophobic. It doesn't mix well with water. But anything else, it mixes really well with. So you can add it to your protein shake. You can add it to your amino acid drink. You can add it to your pre-workout. You can add it to juice. You can add it to soft foods like yogurt. I mix it in with my oatmeal. It mixes really nicely inside the oatmeal. It's only 1.5 grams, so it's not that much. But it mixes with almost anything, so it's very convenient to use. It has more science. Again, it has 32 published studies behind this raw material. That's, if you look at most studies, I'll give you a little dirty secret in our industry. There's lots of them. One of them is that most of the studies done, if you look very closely, are done on untrained athletes. But what happens when you start training an athlete and then you measure them in a study? You're going to get results, no matter what. Well, all of our studies, the 4 studies here specifically that I showed you, were done on well-trained athletes. I'm talking people that are at the top of their game. So showing improvements in well-trained athletes is even more powerful from the scientific view. We have more experts behind this product. I can't think of another nutritional supplement in our industry that has more PhDs who have already raised their hand and said, this thing works, I believe in it, the science is sound, and I will wholeheartedly support that. And you've got guys here, Jeffrey Stout here on the bottom, you may remember him, a lot of work that he did at EAS, well-respected researcher, University of Central Florida. You've got Jay Hoffman, former head of the NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning Association. You've got our very own David Sandler here, our Director of Science and Education. And you've also got a gentleman on the top there, Darren Willoughby. Darren Willoughby, if you've ever had the pleasure of meeting, he's about a 275-pound rock-solid bodybuilder. He is the Director and Head of the Sports Science Center at Baylor University. This guy works for and heads up probably the most prestigious sports science facility in the world. Okay? And he got this product about 6 weeks ago. About 3 weeks in, he called us up and said, sign me up. I love this stuff. This stuff is working great. Now, I didn't pay him a dime for that. Okay? I don't need to. And I think what you'll see is, and there are more coming with PhDs and experts that are wholeheartedly endorsing this product. And also something I'm very proud of is it's banned substance free. Every batch has been tested and certified free of any banned substances. Okay? And this is important because I wanted to make sure that this type of product would adhere to any athletic organization that's out there. And it does. It's also GRAS certified, halal, kosher, and it's made right here in the United States. There's nothing coming from China or anywhere else around the world. It comes from cattle in the United States, it's produced in the United States, it's bottled in the United States. It's done right here in a good manufacturing certified facility in the United States. But most importantly, it's certified banned substance free. So, let's take a look at, from a different lens, of why men would use this and why women would use this. Because a lot of questions I'm getting already as we've started to share some information about this, in terms of, we've had a lot of beta testers using this product. We've had almost 500 beta testers out in the market using this product for us for the last 8 weeks. And one of the questions that I get is this for women? And the answer is absolutely. And I'll show you exactly why. So first let me explain the difference between why a man might want to use it and why a woman might want to use this product. So first, for a man, this is really a convenient way to feed your body with more of the bioactive equivalents of protein so that you can develop more lean muscle. So I'm basically saying, don't stop anything that you're doing. Keep training hard. Keep eating good. Keep eating lots of protein. But if you take Bio-Gro, you can essentially take 200 or 400 or 600 gram equivalent of the bioactives of protein that your body will use to help you develop lean body mass faster. Now for women this becomes, and this has become very evident, it becomes a nice, convenient replacement for a daily consumption of protein that directly affects protein synthesis, but without any calories, fat, or sugar. So if you're looking for calorie maintenance, and you're not looking forward to eating 6 meals a day, and you're not looking forward to that next big protein shake, and you'd rather just have a little 1.5 gram scoop and get the bioactive equivalents that'll help your body undergo protein synthesis, then Bio-Gro is perfect. So I want to leave you today with 3 things. If you don't remember anything else, I want you to keep these 3 things in mind about Bio-Gro. First, and I think this is the one that I feel is most profound and will definitely change the game and be highly disruptive to the protein manufacturers out there. And that's this one tiny little scoop equals the bioactive equivalents of 25 grams of whey protein concentration. The second thing is, I think it's important to know how it works. Very simply, it signals and accelerates protein synthesis more than your body's normal capacity to help you grow muscle faster. And the third, and I love this one, the more you use, the harder you train, the better it works. And I know there's a lot of extremists out there and those who feel more is better. Well, this is a great example of one of those products where more actually is better. And the way that I like to think about Bio-Gro is that it's fertilizer for your muscles. It's kind of a nice, simple way of thinking about helping my muscles develop and utilize everything that I'm doing, all the hard training in the gym, all the protein that I'm consuming, so that I can develop lean muscle faster. So what can you expect from Bio-Gro? I think, again, and I want you to notice, is faster recovery after your workouts. And that's because the rate of protein synthesis is being accelerated, so you're going to improve your recovery. The second thing is you're going to see, over time, is a strength increase. We've actually started to see that a little sooner than we had anticipated, actually, in terms of some strength increases. And then over time, you're going to develop good, quality, permanent, lean body mass. And that's important. This isn't just something that's temporary, this is something that's going to stay with you. Permanent, lean body mass, as long as you're training and you continue to eat well. But I think, and as we bring this to a close, I think it's important to remember that these opportunities, they don't really come along very often. I will tell you, I've been in the industry for quite a while now, and I've really been lucky enough to be a part of some pretty big product launches and some things that changed the game before. Dating back to two good friends of mine, Bill and Sean Phillips, when they launched a product called Metrics. That developed the meal replacement category. And then at EAS, we launched a product called Phosphagen, which was the very first creatine to come to the market. And then in 2005, our company, iSatori, we launched a product that contained beta-alanine. We were the first to come to market. We had worked very closely with Roger Harris and Dr. Mark Talon to bring H block to the market with beta-alanine to prolong and delay muscle fatigue. And now beta-alanine is in everything. So I think today marks a very significant day because it marks the birth of a brand new product category called Bioactive Peptides. And it marks the launch of a new product that is the very first to contain bioactive peptides called Bio-Gro. So I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you coming out here. And I appreciate you being a part of history, because I promise you, if you remember today, another year or two from now, you're going to look back and say, boy, I was there when this guy up there in a red shirt was talking about bioactive peptides, and I thought he was a little crazy. But you're going to see that bioactive peptides are going to become very prominent in the market. And I think you're also going to see a lot of products that try to come to market that sort of kind of look like us, taste like us, feel like us, but I can assure you, there won't be another product like Bio-Gro, because we have developed the expertise and are the exclusive on how this product is developed, this raw material. And we have filed for the patents on the claims that will protect us going forward, so we don't make the same mistakes we did before when we launched new ingredients into the market. But again, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you being part of history today. And before we leave, one thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to recognize a couple people, and actually before that, I want to recognize an entire team of people. There's been a lot of hard work behind this product launch at iSatori. There's been an entire team working effortlessly on this product for a very long time. And I want to acknowledge the entire team at my company. And one person specifically, who's our Director of Science and Education, David Sam. I'd like David to come up here and just tell you a couple words of his own personal experience with Bio-Gro. And I won't give you David's full biographical rundown, but this guy's got a pretty impressive resume if you want to look him up. He just came off the set not too long ago with Jesse James doing a series on sports science. He used to run the NSCA down in Colorado Springs, but he has his own personal experience with Bio-Gro, and I would like him to share that with you here for a minute.
Sure. Hey guys, this is huge. This is really huge. So I'm standing up here as the science director, and of course that sounds probably pretty loaded, right? Because I know what's going on behind the scenes. I know a lot what's going on behind the scenes in a lot of products. But I'm up here really more to tell you about my personal use of Bio-Gro and what it's done for me. And I've been in this industry for 25 years, doing everything. Strength and conditioning coach, researcher, scientist. I've worked with some of the top athletes in the world, and I too was a practitioner, a competitive bench presser a long while back. And I can say honestly, in 25 years, this is without a doubt the coolest thing to ever come to our sport, to ever come to fitness. It truly does work. So when we were kind of playing around with this stuff, in January, I decided I'd jump on and start using this stuff and test it out myself. In fact, I even stuck it in my wife's supplements when she wasn't looking. And we've been using it and trying it out. And inside, honestly, inside of about 5 to 6 weeks of using Bio-Gro, I put almost an inch on my arm. I kid you not. And I, as a scientist, am the very first to be pessimistic about every single thing I see. I'm always the guy that says, no way, this is impossible. In fact, when we started talking about doing this thing, everything I kept coming to was, no way, this is impossible. Until we actually put it to the test to see it work. And I can honestly stand here and say, as a science guy, this stuff works. But more importantly, I can honestly say, as a practitioner, as someone who's been in this industry for this long, this is without a doubt the finest thing I've seen to help build muscle legally, naturally, and hardly having to do anything different other than continuing your hard training. So don't just take it from me as a science guy, take it from me as a practitioner. I'm not just saying it because I work for this company. It's obviously a huge honor for me to be able to be involved with this. But truthfully, as a guy who just has been out there and using supplements, this is really something unique. I'm not just saying that, I'm saying that from the heart. This is really something unique. And so, if you guys don't want to believe me, try it. What's the worst that's going to happen, right? 30 days. Give it a shot for 30 days. And what is the worst that's going to happen? You can't tell me you haven't tried other things for a lot longer and didn't have the results. We're showing the results. Really remarkable stuff.
Thanks. Thanks, David. Thank you very much. All right, I've got another individual here that I'd like to come up. Joel Griffin, if you come up. Joel and his wife Renee are trainers over here at well-respected trainers down at Arborist Gym. And they have a number of clients. He's also, as you can tell, a competitive bodybuilder. But he has also been one of our beta testers for probably about 6 weeks now, maybe. And I just wanted him to share his experience with Bio-Gro with you.
How are you guys doing? It's quiet. Wake up. I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to supplements, just because, for the sheer fact that all of us are kind of trying to do the same thing, right? We want to eat more, get bigger. Everybody kind of has a similar set of goals: change your body in some way, shape or form, more muscle, lose fat. The great thing about Bio-Gro, it's extremely simple, right? It's a small amount. And there's a lot of truth behind the more you take, the more it works, the better it works. They'll tell you that little container will last about a month. I go through it in about a week. But the results are awesome. A little bit longer than 6 weeks I've been on this. And for about 8 weeks, closer to 9 weeks now, I've gone from 240 to currently this morning was 251. And I've also dropped roughly 3% body fat in that same amount of time. So just the sheer weight gain that I've achieved from this is huge. And it's important for me because my biggest downfall in trying to gain weight is that I have the appetite of a 4-year-old boy. And I probably eat less than your girlfriend. So the biggest struggle I've ever had in terms of muscle growth itself is just food consumption. That's my biggest problem, and it's the reason why I'm not any larger than I am today. It's just sheer food consumption. Bio-Gro is awesome just for the fact that it helps me to curb my appetite problem. I'm able to perform better with training, and just for the sheer fact that I can't get in all of my calories, my body is actually working more effectively and efficiently with the smaller amounts of food that I consume. So as I continue to try to eat more, this product actually helps me to achieve the maximum result for the small amount of food that I do eat. The cool thing about Bio-Gro is not only that it helps your muscles get larger, and that's kind of the main focus that everybody goes after, right? Every guy wants to be bigger, better, faster, stronger, and we're all size related, right? The bigger you are, the more of a man you are. With Bio-Gro, the muscle gain is there, the hardness is there, but the big thing is your endurance and your recovery. It almost kind of puts you into autopilot when you're training. So you get into this mindset where you are extremely confident, you have the power behind your training, your weight goes up. Strength is insane with this. I was kind of doubtful, but then by literally my 3rd workout, you guys know how much you lift to go into a gym. It's a very common movement. You know what you squat, you know what you bench press, you know what weights you put on to start out with, you know how many reps you can do for X amount of sets. this doubles, if not triples, in a very short period of time in terms of percentage gains on your lifts. It's amazing, it's fantastic. That's probably my favorite thing right there is the strength gain, the confidence you have while you train, and then the sheer side effect of gaining size is huge. So, worst case scenario, you get bigger, you get faster, you get stronger in a short period of time. Let's say give it a month, like you said. I think you'll be surprised, you will not be disappointed. So, take my word for it if that means anything.
Thank you, Joel. Appreciate it. All right, I wanted to give you a female's perspective as well, so I'm going to ask Andrea Clinton to come up here, and she's recently got involved in CrossFit and has been training quite actively, so I wanted to give you and let you listen to her personal experience with Bio-Gro from a female's perspective.
Hello, my name's Andrea. I've been with iSatori for almost 8 years now, and I've got to tell you, I've never been more excited to see us bring a product to market for Bio-Gro. At the beginning of this year, I decided I was going to compete for the first time. So I started training and dieting and kicking butt. For the last month and a half, I incorporated Bio-Gro into my routine as being part of the beta test. And I've got to tell you, I am so pleased with the results that I've seen. I really believe this product has helped me increase my lean muscle, definition in my arms, my back, and my legs. I am so pleased with what I've seen in the last week. I think it's given my muscles that extra oomph to really know how hard work that I'm doing. I also really like the fact that it has 0 calories. On the restricted diet that I'm on, I can supplement this if I want. I mix it in with my rest rate, my recovery drink after I work out. I mix it in with oatmeal, my protein shake. It's really easy to do. It really is a product for anybody, men or women alike, anybody that wants to increase their muscle growth and wants to enhance their physique. This is an amazing product, and I am so proud to be part of it. Let's bring it to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, last person I want to bring up before we close, Mr. Dewey Whitwer. He's one of our athletes, and he's been an avid beta tester of this product, probably our biggest fan. And I'll let him say a couple words on his own, and if he doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will.
All right, there's always got to be an old guy involved in the process of a product that comes out on the market. So let me just tell you really quick what the product has done for me. I've been on it for about 8 weeks, and I'm 54 years old, and we all know that as you train and you get older, it's really hard to recover after training. So what I've seen for the biggest thing of this product is that my recovery time in my muscles is off the charts. Basically, I can train legs on Monday, and you know that feeling when you walk out of the gym and you're like, oh, you know what, tomorrow I'm not going to be able to walk, or I'm not going to be able to sit down to use the restroom or whatever. I can actually go back and train legs as soon as Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. The other thing is I started this program about 8 weeks ago at 205. I currently weigh 210. I started the program, I was about 11.5% body fat. I'm now at 8.5. So I've gone up almost 5 pounds of muscle, lean mass. And that for me is big at my age, and competing against a lot of these younger guys that I have to compete against, and what I do is huge, and it's a benefit for me. Now I'm like Joel, that serving right there doesn't last me very long, because I will tell you this, the more you take of this product, the better it works. So it's one of those things, more is best. So I take it basically 6 times a day. And to give you an example, as I started taking the product, my girlfriend Trish started noticing I was getting leaner and I was getting more muscle. And she's like, what are you taking? I said, don't worry about it. Well, come to find out, she found out what I was taking and took half my product, and now she's taking it. So she's gained muscle mass and leanness also. So I'm very proud to be an athlete with you, Stephen. This company is unbelievable. You can say whatever you want to say about other products. iSatori does the science behind their products. They stand behind their products, and their products really do work. So we've all tried crazy products. I'm telling you, give this shot for 60 days, and you will not be sorry for the money that you spend to buy this product.
All right, thank you, Dewey, very much. All right, so let's bring this to a close. If you came in today and you received a red ticket, if you were one of the first 50 to accept the invite, you received a red ticket, please take that over to our booth, the iSatori booth. We will make sure that you get your very own beta test bottle of Bio-Gro. The product is being launched on April 16th, and it's being launched exclusively to some online web retailers. So you probably won't find it in stores maybe until the middle or latter part of May. And if you have any questions about Bio-Gro or iSatori or training or supplements in general, we will be over here at our booth right behind you. Myself, Dave, and Sandra will be there if you want to talk and dig into the science. If you want to talk to any of the individuals who have been using Bio-Gro for quite some time. You're welcome to come over and say hello. I appreciate again your time, and thank you for coming out today and being a part of this exciting product launch.